What's up, guys? We're back with another vid. Been a couple weeks, just been busy, and also the blizzard that hit doesn't really make you have a lot of making crappy YouTube videos motivation, you know? Anyway, today we're just gonna be doing some anecdotes, some stories about when I was younger. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so starting off, it's gonna be the story of how when I was 4 years old and at the beach, I swallowed a bunch of sand, okay? So, to start off this tale, we're on the beach, obviously. It's the middle of summer, and I'm running around, right? You know, because I was like 5 years old. I'm running around on the beach, having a grand old time. I start running in circles around like the beach chair, towel, umbrella, that whole area. And as I do that, I trip on my grandma's leg, I fall, and I swallow a bunch of sand. Now, immediately, you're thinking, oh, that doesn't seem that bad. Swallowing sand, you just spit it out. But no. See, the way that I did it was, as I was running, I was, screaming and yelling, like a kid does, screaming and making weird noises. And I fell with my mouth wide open. And I tell you, a whole half a size of a water bottle of sand went into my mouth. Now, immediately, I'm spitting it out. I'm spitting it out because, I don't think I should have to tell you this, but wouldn't you know, a bunch of sand in the mouth really doesn't feel that great. I do that, spitting it out, spitting it out, spitting it out, and it's just not cutting it. So initially I run to the ocean to, wash it out, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to have the whole ocean in my body. So instead I'm running, spitting, and then I have to get a water bottle. And I'm drinking and I'm spitting and I'm drinking and I'm spitting. And I tell you, one of the worst things that's ever happened to me to this day, right? Now, a lot of worse that's happened or whatever, but that was just so uncomfortable. And to this day, during the summer, whenever I crunch down too hard on like potato chips, I feel like there's that one grain of sand that for whatever reason never left. All right, let's jump a little bit. That I was very young. Let's jump to elementary school. More specifically, kindergarten through 4th grade, right? Now, we're going to start with a little tick that I used to have. Not like in the middle of class yelling out, fuck, fuck, fuck. No, nothing like that. It was more of something that I would do every day at a specific time that would annoy myself, right? So this is a lot of self-loathing coming up. This is nothing that people were annoyed by. So every day, I tell you, we'd get up, get our book bags, our Star Wars, Lightning McQueen, Spider-Man, whatever, and our lunch boxes, and we'd line up, like you do, like making roll call for jail or whatever. We would be walking, and there was a certain point, the 1st grade hallway was super long, so you'd walk down, walk past all the bathrooms, and then after that, you'd pass this one classroom, you'd take a right. I don't know why I'm explaining this. You'll never go there. You take a right, and then there was like this area where there was, I think, lockers. I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't tell you. But every day, right, when the bell would ring, for whatever reason, little me, I said it one time and I never stopped, and I hated doing it for whatever reason. When the bell would ring and we'd be walking, I'd go, just on time. And the first couple of times, it was whatever, no one even noticed. Well, okay, the whole time no one noticed, I should say. But it was more of me getting mad. I turn the corner, bell would ring, right on time, and I go, why do I say that? Now, it's not my voice now, it's 5-year-old high-pitched voice. So it's not, it's right on time. Why do I say that? Why do I say that every day? So it was just an odd experience. All right, now let's cut to lunchtime, 2nd grade. At the time, I was hanging out with my quote-unquote girlfriend for the 2-day span or whatever. And we were sitting there at lunch. I still get the most heebie-jeebies from this ever. Nothing weird. But I was reading the back of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, right? The first one. I'll put it up. So there's this one specific part on the back. It's a quote, right? And it's a drawing. So the top it says, I'll be famous one day, but for now, I'm stuck in middle school with a bunch of morons, period. And then it shows the drawing. And I read that shit like I wrote it myself. Like I was Jeff Kinney, and I was so proud of it. Now I'm in middle school with a bunch of morons. Like it was just so stupid. And she was like someone that actually enjoyed school at the time. So she looked at me like I had three heads. Which realistically, even if you don't like school, if someone says that to you, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this kid's problem?" Next up, this one was just pure embarrassment, pure embarrassment. So let's cut back to first grade. Now, I'd say it's a nice, November or March morning, right? I couldn't tell you. All I know, it was cold, but there wasn't snow on the ground because it wasn't excruciatingly cold, right? It wasn't that. So I'm going to assume November or March. And at the time, there was no grass, right? It was just dirt in this recess area. And we're doing whatever, fucking off, doing kid shit. I don't know what you do when you're in first grade, especially now. But we're doing whatever. And I was on top of this hill. And I was just kind of fucking around, doing whatever. And then every time it was time to come in from this recess, the teacher would blow the whistle. And this was morning recess, right? I'd say it's a good 9:30 in the morning. And so she blows the whistle, and obviously I run because that means, it's time to come in. And as I'm running, about, I don't know, 1/3 of the way down, I trip on a rock. Okay. Now, usually it wouldn't be that bad, but it was a really big rock. So I fall all the way forward at like, I don't know, a 45-degree angle, pretty much. And I fall with one of my eyes wide open. Now, this was usually fine, but there was one detail. The fact that this fucking hill had no grass. So I fall with my eye wide open, my left eye. Imagine someone picking up dirt from the ground and just forcibly shoving it into your open eye. That, except you're also falling on your ass like an idiot. Or actually, no, not even falling on your ass. Falling on your face. So, A, you look like an idiot for falling, but now, when you run over, after everyone looking at you, you have a hunk of dirt in your eye. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I'm so lame. And then I got up, and then I walked over. Now, I was expecting her to be like, get inside. What's wrong with you? Because I was a very self-conscious kid. But then she was like, no, oh my God, are you okay? You got to go to the nurse. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I just want to go in and forget about it. But you can't do that because, I had a bunch of dirt in my eye. I could get like an infection or something. So she sends me down. I begrudgingly go. And I'm doing the walk of shame. In like the cartoons when they'd be like kicking rocks, being like, oh man, I didn't mean to beat up Mr. Feeney's dog. Oh man, I didn't mean to graffiti his car door. Oh man, I sure am. Oh man. Kicking rocks, except I got my head down. Like I had my hood up and my head down. I looked like I had just seen war. I'm like, oh man. And then, I walk down to the nurse. She takes out the dirt and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And I went back to class. We had a spelling test. That was probably the worst day in elementary school ever. I think I can say it pretty confidently. Now, this next one is more of just a weird experience and something cringe I did in, elementary school. Although it does take place in elementary school. Basically, every lunchtime, it was about 18 minutes of talking. And then the last, 2 minutes, this random teacher, couldn't tell you who, right? She'd come in with a pin, right? And she'd stand at the front of the entire cafeteria. Okay, guys, I'm going to count to 10. And when I drop the pin and you guys can't hear it, you're all in big trouble, okay? And she would do this every day. She'd drop the pin. And one day, right, I'll take you back. I was talking super loud because I didn't time what I was doing right. I could have stopped. Oh, dude, I just saw Transformers Dark Side of the Moon.
4,
And it was like
3,
the best fucking
2.
thing ever. Bumblebee is my favorite Transformer. Who said that? I didn't hear the pin. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And they'd make you stand up. They'd make you stand up if you were talking. And it was like the most shunning experience ever because everyone's looking at you and laughing. For whatever reason. I don't know. Like now if that happens, but like, why are you making them stand? But you know, when you're however old and you see someone standing, it's pretty funny, I have to say. Originally, I was just going to talk about the experience of that, but then I realized, oh yeah, I do have an embarrassing story to tell with it. So, you know, that's cool. So this one isn't necessarily embarrassing. This one's just a weird thing that I did. So when I was little, I really loved the movie Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox in it. And, you know, I really wanted to be like him. So every chance I got, I would dress like him in the movie. Now, at times it would be his look from Back to the Future Part 2 when they go back to the 50s. And he has like the leather jacket on and the hat and the glasses. I'll show you. I'll put it up. Any outfit from that time, I try to fit in and make it look like Marty McFly. So like if I had a red shirt on, you bet your ass. If I didn't have any jeans, I'm putting on blue sweatpants and the Nikes that were all white that I colored in the logo red to make it be like the shoes in the movie. And my infatuation with the movie didn't just carry on through that. I also had a lunchbox. I'll show you. I have an app on your phone where you like put a date and then you're like, you have the time and where you're going. And, you know, I'd put it in the car and I'd act like, you know, oh, I'm driving, oh. And yeah, honestly, that's not too embarrassing. I think it's just a funny thing that I used to do. This one time when I was at the YMCA camp, I don't know where I heard this, but for whatever reason, in a little notebook, it said your name, I wrote Pablo Escobar. Now, I didn't know who Pablo Escobar was. I just heard his name. And for whatever reason, I wrote it, and they were like, what? They didn't think too much of it. I didn't get in trouble or anything. I'm going to list off a couple, actually, from that. So I was really obsessed with Minecraft at the time, because I had no way to play it at the time. I had a Wii. Couldn't do it. So what I would do would be learn about it from other kids my age. And by other kids my age, I mean kids that were kind of older. So I talked to one. We were talking, but they were doing other stuff. And he had one of the original Minecraft books. And oh man, I will tell you, I saw that like a golden opportunity. Pick that shit up, put it in my backpack, and I was on my way. Only he saw me do it. So I had to give it back. Now, I did end up acquiring 2 of those books. Did I ever read them? No. I just looked at the pictures. But, yeah, what are you going to do? So, at the YMCA during this time, during summer, I should say, it was hot, like summer is. And as I'm, you know, going to the thing, like our activity, not the thing. You know, the thing. Yeah, the thing. So, as we're going to that, obviously, one of the things was learning how to swim properly. Now, I could, you know, put on my water floats and swim around, but they were teaching serious, like, diving and holding your breath stuff. And I really didn't want to do it. I saw this one girl jump down and do whatever. As soon as that happened, I went, can I go do the water slide with the other kids? And they went, okay. And I went, yay! And started running away from the instructor. What a great kid. When I was a kid, I was deathly afraid of escalators. Escalators, folks. Now I don't like them, don't get me wrong. But I was terrified. I wouldn't go on them. I'd have to go on elevators, right? Now, begrudgingly, I would go, but this one time it reached a boiling point. Me and my mom are at a Macy's. She's going down. I'm with her. I'm holding her hand. And at the last minute, I rip my hand and I go, "Ah, I can't do it." And then I'm standing at the top crying, right? I'm crying. Thank God this woman like is like, "Come on, go down." And she brings me down and my mom hugs me. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And like I was like, "Oh, man. I got to get over this fear." But I was super afraid. All right. So when I was younger, I used to go to this pond, right? Not like one that is infested or anything with like algae or, whatever you want to call it. No, it was one that had sand and you could swim in. And because my dad, didn't want me to swim off and drown, he did this tactic to scare me, right? To do good, I guess, or to not slip up. So one day, after I'm in the water and I swam out pretty far, he calls me and he goes, "Hey, come here. If you swim out too far, there's this thing called a snapping turtle out there." And I go, "Well, what's that, Dad?" And he goes, "It's this big turtle." I'm like, "Oh, I like turtles. My friend Jeremy has a turtle." Jeremy's just a placeholder name. And middle of him saying this, he goes, "Yeah, not like the turtles you know. It's one that's, big, scary, has a big mouth." And then he acts his hand out as the turtle's mouth. He grabs me and he goes, "That'll bite ya!" And he does that. I go, "Ah, ah," and I got so scared. I was scared to go out to like the raft thing. There was like a float that you could stand on to jump off and fish on. I was terrified. So technically it worked, but I also was petrified. So little childhood trauma just in the middle of the pond. Thank you guys for listening to my trauma dump, essentially, of old childhood stories from when I was little. Maybe I'll do a part 2. Hell, maybe I'll even do embarrassing shit that's happened recently. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys have a great day. As John Green would say, like they say in my hometown, don't forget to stay awesome. All right, bye.